Welcome to my channel, Dripping in Alchemy. My name is Starr. Today I'm going to enter into the space with a tourmaline, black tourmaline, specifically incense smudge. And I had no idea that incense was made with the infusion of crystals. So this is a very lovely incense that I've been buying for the past couple of months now. There is a lot coming through today. There is a lot that feels separate. There is a lot that feels distant. There is a few things that I haven't put on today's spread that I felt like wanted to be there. Some shells specifically, but I'm hearing that you're going to find what you need, and I feel called to share these greens here that I got. And I pulled a card for myself before sitting down, which is the salamander and black pepper with inspiration. And I wanted to share this because I think someone might be drawn to black pepper soon. Maybe this is something that you want to give as an offering to your ancestors, or something that you want to try using instead of chili. This is what I managed to narrow myself down with eventually, because I was trying to cut out so much spice in my life. I'm hearing Spice Girl, Spice Up Your Life, which I've also danced to recently. But this idea of inflammation, this idea of agitation, and perhaps things coming to the surface right now. I think some of you are trying to soothe the body. So if you love a bit of spice like I do, I come from a half Jamaican family, so there was a lot of spice in everything, and I really had to wean myself off. 122 on the clock there. I was addicted to the spice, so I use black pepper now as my my formidable force for the heat. So I'm sharing that in case that is for someone as well. But we have a lot coming up energetically, everyone, that I think some of you might be in already. We have the Scorpio super full moon on our heels, which I do think is in conjunction with the last new moon that we've just had in Aries, which was also incredibly potent. And we have May Day Beltane falling on the exact same day. And I went to a market this weekend and I had a really beautiful time. And I wanted to show this little, I don't even know what to call it. Clown feels too redundant, but this little crochet creature was on this woman's table and I immediately felt drawn to them, and I picked it up and she said, have it, this is supposed to be yours. So I was very elated with that. And I also got this little frog too. I told myself no more crystals, but this guy was really speaking to me. So, and I kissed it and I said to myself, okay, I think I've kissed enough frogs. So I'm sharing that too, in case that is something for someone. I've also brought in this pyrite dragon skull here, which is gifted by a very beautiful friend of mine, and also this little crystal here too that was also gifted by a very dear friend, which I think was gifted to her, which I do believe is a rose quartz, and it's got like quite a little flashy rainbow in there. I don't know if you can see that. And I've also put in this pebble that I got from a local market that has been painted and has a sticker on, and I always see this as a cardinal, and I use that in a image for the Starr card over on my Instagram, but also in the community tab here. So if you want to go and check out my reimagination of the Starr card, then you can go and do that also. But we are 3 minutes in already, everyone, and I feel like I've just rattled to you, but I'm trusting the energy, and I feel like this is how perhaps some of you are feeling at this moment in time. Like there is a lot, but you don't know what to say. Perhaps you feel like you're not saying anything at all, or perhaps you feel like, you know, you're just saying so much without getting to the bare bones of what is happening right now. So I'm going to ask that we just ground in this moment together. And actually I'm going to grab my singing bowl, I feel called. So I'm going to say just take some deep breaths and just bring yourself to the present moment. If you can put your feet on the ground, do so. And just really be present with yourself and just tune into this reading and let it be what it needs to be for you today. 4:04 on the clock there, and I'm looking down at a pair of eyes that are actually Audrey Hepburn's eyes. So I'm sharing that in case that is something for someone too. Archetypes for female presence. I'm being drawn to Marilyn Monroe, stars of the ages, Angelina Jolie. I'm seeing Kate Beckinsale when she is in the movies with the werewolves, Underworld. And I did feel this presence, but I didn't want to scare anyone off. But I think because we've got this super moon And Scorpio coming up, we might be delving into some shadowy expressions as well today. So I'm going to try and keep it as light as I can, but I just want to let the energy flow and let it be what it's supposed to be. So yeah, brace yourselves for those that might not want an in-depth reading, but you feel called to be here because I feel like that's where we might be heading. So I'm just going to ask spirit guides, teams, and guardians to share with this collective what they most need to hear right now. I'm going to pull some tarot and oracle today. Oh, okay. First card that we've got is the Page of Wands. Second card that we've got is the Four of Pentacles. Maybe you want to yawn. And the third card that I've got is the Five of Pentacles. So I really wanted to yawn when I put the Four of Pentacles down, and I think that we're back to this idea of abundance and wealth, everyone. And I think some of you are sick to death of worrying about what's going to happen, what's going to show up in your life. You're sick to death of hearing that you're going to be abundant, that everything is going to work out, and you just feel like it hasn't been. And this is definitely spirit calling you out, because they're saying that you've been given the keys to everything that you need. All you have to do is unlock it. And unfortunately for some, what I'm hearing is, yeah, you need to unlock the keys to your heart. And I split the deck to the Six of Pentacles, which I'm actually going to put down over the Four of Pentacles to let you know that you have come out of the time where you need to be worrying about what's going to show up for you. And even if you have absolutely, I don't know, 000 in the bank account, you are bankrupt at this time, I'm telling you, you are one of the most abundant souls that lives on this planet in the here and now. So use yourself to your advantage. And I think the one thing that everyone doesn't want to hear today that has shown up is that you are the asset. It's you. And I came to this realization the other day that I think something I've been avoiding for the longest time, which is why I think I'm starting. Again, this isn't my first channel, because I was really hesitant and I think really resistant to me being the product. And it's so much more than that, but it's also not. When we're getting down to the bare bones of business, I am my company. I am, you know, the product that I'm selling. It is me. It is what I have to offer. I'm merely a vessel completely. It is the energies that run through me, but also I've been brought here to contain those energies. This is what my life has always been culminating to being. So technically, it is me. And I think that some of you have been running away from this. And actually what you're being called to do with is sit in the here and now and be present with this full moon to let go of anything that is stopping you from stepping forward as just being you. And you don't have to change. For some of you, you're feeling like you have to be a different person. You 1000% don't. And I want to say that just you being you is actually going to draw in so much more to you than you've been able to allow yourself to see up until now. And I'm struggling to get my words out because it's such an energetic standpoint that I'm witnessing this from, because it's almost like there is no words for you. And I feel like you might resonate with this energy of being quite an enigma, this collective. And I definitely feel like I teeter on the edges of that too. Some people have no idea what to do with me. They don't know what to say. They don't know what to do in my presence. They seemingly, some people just stare blankly at me and don't know what to say to me. Other people will gravitate towards my energy and, you know, just want to touch me, which, you know, I've had to get used to. I'm definitely someone that freaks out when people just try and touch me that I don't know that are random. And also there are those that really do see and understand my presence, and you know, they respect it because they are that same vibration too. So I think everyone that is here, you've been avoiding the fact that you are exactly as you are supposed to be, and the reason why you are here you've already been given. So this is an encouragement reading, but I know it's not going to feel as such because perhaps it's so on the nose and some things that you've been feeling of late. Yeah, Ace of Cups, it is all about your heart and you don't want to hear it. And you know, my heart really goes out to those that, you know, perhaps have really gone through challenging times with the Five of Pentacles. Like, believe me, I hear you. And I've really been picking up the pieces of myself, of my life, over the past, I want to say 10 years of my existence. It's been a real hard slog of looking at the past, working through ancestral karma, trauma, the rest of it, my own personal trauma that, you know, essentially I brought on myself for my own growth, but it's still painful. So go easy with yourself and stop worrying about money. For some of you, it's not money that you're actually worrying about. You're worrying about not having the life of your dreams. And yeah, you're going to have it. The Knight of Cups, it's here for you. It is here for you. So start romanticizing your life now. And this is definitely something that I've done. I do think right from the beginning of my awakening, I was encouraged to do this, and it really does help you get into an alignment. It allows for you to feel the energy that you want to slip into every single day. And the more that you do it, the more that you realize that your everyday existence starts to turn into that romanticized life that you decided to give yourself at a certain point. And this can be just taking things slower today for you. You know, romanticizing your life doesn't mean that anything has to change. It just means that you're more present in everything that you are doing. This means that you buy yourself the flowers if you're wanting to call in that specific partner or presence in your life that you feel like you are lacking. Okay, point blank period. We're trying to get you out of the energy of lack, yes, and bring you into the state of total fulfillment now, so that you understand the vibration and you have the capacity to hold it. And I honestly feel like this is only just something that I've started to realize was happening in my own life path, in my own journey. Because if I was given everything that I wanted, when I wanted it, when I felt like I was in lack, if it had come in, I wouldn't have been able to hold this frequency. I had to be able to bring my state of abundance up already within myself to be able to hold what is coming in. And yeah, the illusion is, we've got the devil at the bottom of the deck. The illusion is that you don't possess the energy to support yourself. That is the illusion. I'm going to have to be careful when putting these cards down. I'm going to put Mr. Froggy. I knew, see, it has to go on her boob, and I knew there was something cheeky about that frog when I picked him up, which is why I loved him. Yeah, this is a deep emotional internal state that some of you are in. And I really hope that you are picking up what I'm putting down. Perhaps you want to pause and make notes as this has been going on for you, because I feel like what is being brought up right now is a lot of the past for you to heal it in the present moment. And I've had the most synchronistic past couple of days that I could possibly put into words. And I realized that I was being shown my past in my present in order to heal it in very specific moments of time. And it allowed for me to see that I was always walking the path of my life, but it's almost like I was doing it backwards. And I'm coming to times and synchronicities where things are coming full circle. And I think that some of you have really been dreaming of going away, of just, you know, packing up and just going away somewhere for some time. You're going to be able to get to do this. And, you know, perhaps this is something that you've been worried about. If you've been wanting to call in a specific relationship, will I still have that life of travel that I'm wanting? And, you know, I pulled 2 5 of Wands at the bottom of the deck because I'm being told, you know, this might cause some conflict in your spaces, but you're going to be able to work through it. And we've got the sun here. So for someone, I'm jumping ahead and I'm seeing into your timeline, and you know, that's what's going to happen. But you are going to always come back to this 10 of Pentacles, because when you are with the right person and the right connections, it is always smooth sailing, as I pull the 6 of Swords here. So for some, you know, perhaps this is a work environment that you're worried about not working out. Perhaps this is a relationship that you've been wanting to call in. Perhaps this is an existing relationship that has been brought to the surface again. You're thinking, you know, how we're going to make this work. You will do, because you both want it to. Yeah, and we've got the Ace of Swords in reverse. So just get out of the mind. Get out of the mind, get into the body. Yeah, and start trusting your heart. And I'm hearing it was 13 and 8 on the clock there. And I feel like I'm speaking to a lot of divine feminine energy in this space, and this idea of not being able to trust yourself is coming through really strongly. But know that you can trust yourself, and you know what is best for you. Yeah, 3 of Pentacles. For some of you, you're thinking back into the energy that you had when you were a child, just as I covered the devil there. And I think that some of you have been in this energy of what has felt like the devil trying to capture you from birth. And now that can go as deeply as you like. And I'm really seeing expressions of that being so true to some people, and that is definitely something that I can resonate with in my own life path as well. So, you know, if you need help in that expression, I know that's quite expansive, but please do not hesitate to reach out. How to contact me is in the description below, theawakeningstar@gmail.com, because I feel like we are working with entity and perhaps demonic interference for some, which goes quite deep, but you will know if that's your message or not. But I'm going to scale it back because I want some clarity on the 9 of Cups, and we've got the Wheel. Everything is at your fingertips, so please don't worry. No matter how your life looks right now, things can change on a dime, and that is just the most truest expression that could possibly be spoken right now. And I'm seeing the flower of life in my mind's eye. So really come back to your presence, really come back to your meditation practice if you've slipped off, really come back to whatever it is for you. Get yourself on your mat again, you know, go and work out, take that run, go and do that morning walk, that late night walk, be safe out there. But just know that where you are right now is exactly where you're supposed to be, and you are abundant exactly as you are. Yeah. And the more that you can just be present, the quicker that everything that you are perceivingly wanting or lacking is going to be coming in for you. But you have to get out of this mindset of lacking abundance, because it's your birthright to be abundant. Yeah. And you're all so intuitive that are here. And, you know, you might be a masculine energy that is here. And maybe you're receiving this to understand where potentially a divine feminine is, that you're trying to tap into their energy. They are very abundant when it comes to their spiritual gifts. They're very abundant when it comes to their spiritual gifts. They're very abundant when it comes to trusting their intuition. But it is their past that blocks them from seeing clearly at times. So trust in your knowing of your creative purposes. And to anyone that is struggling with this energy, your creativity is the key to unlocking all of your gifts. And, you know, I recently picked up some paintbrushes again, which has been for the first time in a very, very, very long time in my life. At a certain point in my journey, I felt too much when I created art, and I said, I'm not going to do this anymore. And I stopped kind of for a very long time. And I started to do other things. I went in a different direction, but I eventually became a makeup artist. And now again, am I picking up brushes in a very different way with paint. So it didn't ever leave me, but I perceived to myself that I had to put it down because it was just too strong of an energy. And now I'm strong enough to be able to wield that energy. And the same is for you. Yeah, something that you need to pick back up. For some of you, you put down this project, you said, you know, this is too much for me. I can't do this. I can't do this alone. You're not going to have to do it alone. Someone is coming in to support you. And if it's not just one person, it's a whole tribe and team of people that you chose to reconnect with this lifetime that are also very highly intuitive, and they're coming in to help you. I think that fire is a very abundant energy for you to sit in right now. Perhaps you want to do some violet flame meditations, blue flame meditations, that type of thing. I do also have a dragon intuition channel as well, which I will tag in the description, called Dragon Heart Light. So to tap into that fire energy with dragons, if that feels like a calling to you. Of course, that's why I put the dragon in here. But I think this is your soul screaming to be set free, and it's through creativity that you're going to be able to do this. Am I pulling any more tarot? I'm being told no. So I'm going to move into some oracle. And I keep hearing the message, but how? So I'm going to move into the water oracle today to grab some more confirmation on how you can work through this idea of, like, yeah, she flows. Ease, being open to change and go with the flow of life. I feel like you really just have to sink into your divine presence right now in terms of being in the flow of the energy and allowing for yourself to just be present. 17 and 37, you might want to look at where you were in your life when you were 17 and when you were 37, or how you feel like you might be when you're coming up to 37. And if you're not of that age yet, then I'm hearing 27 too. If you've gone past that threshold, look at 17 and 27. But if you're approaching your 37, think about how you want your life to be then, and allow for that to be in the present moment now. Making waves, momentum is building, it's your time and achievement. Yeah, you've already achieved so much. Whoever is here, it's really interesting because you feel like you haven't achieved anything at all, but you've lived such an interesting and complex tapestry of life, I'm hearing already. So I'm not entirely sure how you can feel that way. Perhaps you feel, you know, like you don't have the life that you've been wanting right now, but that doesn't mean that you haven't already created things for self. Yeah, it's making me want to cry. Some of you feel like a failure, and that couldn't be further from the truth, which is, yeah, it makes me really sad to tap into that energy. Birth mysteries. What what are you being called to create? And some of you, this is a family. With the idea of the Empress underneath and her bosom being so large, I was getting that idea of pregnancy. So some of you, you are supposed to create a family. Yeah, and perhaps this is the most terrifying thing to you. Deep sea diving, the way of the mystic, learn through experience and depth. And I was hearing living through experience. Okay, this is what you are missing. Your lived experience. And I literally saw this this frog jump from side to side as I put that card down. Your lived experience is worth the weight in gold. Everyone that is here, and I keep wanting to say pile, so you might perhaps pick pile 1 and pile 2 often and pick a card readings. This is going to be your confirmation. And for some of you, you are not trusting who you are as a soul here. For some of you, some things have happened that made you put down some things that you were doing because it just got to be too much for you. And I can really resonate with this. This is my, I don't know, umpteenth time at opening a channel again. So I understand that energy, but this is what you were born to do. The healers here, priest, priestess, priestess, soul purpose, and the encore. And again, this idea of the birthing sac being still attached to the baby when it's born. I feel like one of your children, this is going to happen to, if not all of them. It's like a divine miracle is about to take place with a birth. This might not be you. This might be someone you're connected to. But for some of you, yeah, it's making my head hurt. On the feminine side, it's like, you know what you are built. You know that you were made to create a family. You were built to have a family. But this terrifies you the most. So perhaps you want to journal out about why this might be the case for you. Yeah, and I heard my bone just clicked in my wrist, so that's it. That's a second confirmation for someone. Yeah, and I've been having trouble with my wrist, and I knew it wasn't me, and my wrist has just clicked, and all of a sudden it feels like it is completely healed. And this is what it is. It's like having the family is going to be the healing that you've been searching for your whole entire life. And I absolutely want to burst into tears at this right now, because we've got the pentacle and the pentagram sticking out here. For someone who feels like they are, you know, perhaps a witch or a warlock in their own right, having this family is going to be all the divine magic that you need to help you believe that magic is real. Your child is going to be so incredibly gifted, but also you are going to receive such divine creativity and expression to be able to share this with them. And you already have it. Okay, you're not going to be giving it. You've already been gifted it. It is you. And the only reason that this child can come into this world is because of you and the person that you have this child with. I'm hearing it's just such potent energy. Yeah, water codes. Water codes and ancient wisdom, the intelligence of within you. I don't know how to stress enough, and it's making me feel stressed. Like my head hurts. I wish that I was someone that was close to you, whoever is here, because I would sit you down, I would hold your hands, I would make you a cup of tea, I would wrap you up in a blanket, I would literally cradle you like a baby, and I would say, you are everything that this world has to offer, and so much more. And it breaks my heart to know that you just can't see it. But something's going to happen, yeah, to help you see it. And you're going to let go of all of these hang-ups that you have about, you know, perhaps yourself, your body, whatever. Release the past, forgive, soften, and move forward. And I think a lot of traumatic things have happened in your past to really make you not see yourself clearly. And I'm hearing you've been working on your state of personal expression and also personal confidence. But I'm hearing, you know, the level that you are at now is not a scratch of where you're going to be in the future, because it's like you've not been able to see yourself clearly. The way that everything has been laid out for you, you just haven't seen that divine mirror. And that seems like something that I've been consistently saying, but it's coming. It's like exactly what you've been wanting and screaming for, and perhaps, you know, crying for, that you've seen others have. It's all coming in for you. And there's so many different expressions of what that could mean. That's why I'm struggling to try and get this message out so cohesively, I think, because there is just so many things coming in that I'm seeing that I think that so many of you want out here in this collective, but it's coming for you, I promise. And I don't share these messages lightly. I had to really take some time to sit and think whether I wanted to create a channel again. And I was told there is a collective of beings that need to hear what you have to say through my lived experience too. And this is your energy. Wow. Dandelion and healing. Yeah, you are a healer at heart. It was 23:30 on the clock there. You're a healer at heart. And I saw this card come out as I was shuffling to bring them in. Jasmine, sensuality. You heal through herbs. Yeah, I'm looking for another flower card, it told me to. Lotus and Resurrection 22. Okay, wow. You've got 2292, which I'm reading as 222, which is the divine number of divine union, and 9 here, which I'm seeing as the completion of a cycle. And I'm seeing it as the infinity symbol, but now broken. It's like you've broken a cycle of the past. So now, wow, yeah, now you are ready to step into your true abundant future with rainbow and beauty and 30. And I opened up this channel with the rainbow here. And this idea of a rainbow frequency is something that the ancients have been speaking about for the longest time. And I think in 2023 I said this portal has opened, and so many people were just like, what the F is she talking about? And I knew it. I knew that it landed so flat, but I knew that the certain souls that understood what I was saying were going to jump into that space with me. And now I think I'm being brought to the souls that decided to say yes to jumping into that portal of this divine frequency of rainbow energy. You can call it Christ consciousness, whatever you want to label it, divine light, whatever. But this rainbow frequency is here for all of us, and you have to just decide to step into it. So maybe this is something that you want to lead with if you're really struggling. Create a new blank page, blank, whether this is typed out. I like to actually use ink to paper. There is something that is so, I think, in terms of alchemy with ink onto paper. I'm seeing, what am I hearing? I'm hearing sulfur, I'm hearing lead, I'm hearing graphite in there somewhere. I am also hearing some things that I don't even know what they are, but I'm seeing a lot of alchemical symbols, and also the periodic table. So maybe that's something that you want to study, is a periodic table for some. You want to study ancient symbols in the periodic table. And this idea of sacred symbols is coming through, and I'm going to be putting out a dragon meditation shadow work processing video today, hopefully today, that I will tag in the description too, because I think that you might need to do that, those that the alchemical symbols resonate with, because I think it's going to go tandem to what you are experiencing right now. But I'm hearing you close the door on a lot of ancient energy that was blocking you because it was of a negative vibration to you. So I think there is a lot of expansive souls here that have worked through a lot of past life and karmic expressions, and now you're being brought into your future, which is really, really beautiful. But I'm going to bring this reading into a close, into a landing, which I love to hear from the Confessionals podcast. But this idea of your heart being the biggest healing vessel that you have is so divinely true. You have given so much to others, and I think this is the only thing that has allowed for you to stay, well, yeah, some of you sane, is that you knew that you gave out so much that no matter what happened, you thought, okay, that has to come back to me, even when you'd lost all faith in everything, even in the divine at some points. And I can really resonate with that. Some things went real wonky donkey with some of my spirit guides and guardians, and it was just like, okay, everyone has to leave. I'm just going to go at this alone. Of course, I'm never alone. It was all just, wasn't true. I was never alone. But that's how it felt. And I just had to trust my heart. And I just said to myself, it's my heart that has gotten me this far. So I know now that I've gone through the things that I have, the wisdom that I have, somehow I'm going to make it through, and my heart is going to bring back to me exactly what I've given out, because I knew that I was a being that gave out so much love to so many others, and you are definitely one of those souls too. Heart sees compassion. Tread a little more tenderly, and this is with yourself. Everyone that is here, please have more compassion for yourself, because you've been going through a lot. Perhaps some of you have really been diving into the shadow aspects of all space and time, because you've been learning through experience and been going to the depths. So you have to soften. You have to soften in order to bring in more clarity. I always read this as sweet asylum. So for some of you, you really have been pushed to your edge, and I can definitely vouch for this. Bright paths of understanding will open, and yeah, give yourself grace, give yourself time. Stop, slow down. Yeah, the pace must abate before it's too late. And for some of you, you're really trying to rush ahead because you are afraid. This idea of the abundance, and you're afraid that you're not going to have enough. You have to slow down, otherwise you're going to hit burnout for one, so you'll be stopped anyway. I've definitely been there. Or some things aren't going to go to plan, so you have to just what am I hearing? Abate the pace. Abate the pace. So trust in that. Cooperation. Take the hand offered or ask. And for some of you, your spirit guides are absolutely screaming at you. They are like, why are they not asking us for help? So, perhaps you are someone that works very heavily in the masculine energy, and this is something that I can vouch to also. I've definitely been on the self-love journey of connecting into my divine feminine energy, and I feel so confident in my masculine energy. This go hitting my goals, exceeding my targets, da 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 da. I felt so comfortable in that space to sit back and learn to receive. I was like, I don't know what to do with this. It felt so uncomfortable. The silence felt deafening until I started to hear the silence as everything. And I feel like this is kind of the space that some of you are trying to get into. So if this reading has resonated with you, but you don't know exactly where to start, you know, we can hop on a clarity call together and we can delve into some of these aspects and work out a specific plan for you of how we can create your daily life to be working for you rather than against you. And, you know, sometimes it's not necessarily our life that has to change. It is us. And this is definitely something that, you know, I've learned the long way and the hard way around. So I've had a lot of life experience in these spaces, and now that I'm coming to do these readings again, I now understand why I was taken on the pathway that I was, so that now I have this wisdom to give through a lived experience. I was already given the tools to receive the messages, but I hadn't had the lived experience. So annoyingly, this has been a very deep 5-year path. And specifically the past 3 years of my life have just been the most amounts of chaos, the most amounts of seeing all space and time. I asked for it, but be careful what you ask for, because you just might get it, because I most certainly did. But I think some of you know what I'm speaking of, and some of you maybe you're just about to tip into those spaces. So I'm also here to support that journey of, you know, really delving into the shadow, into the other, into the ether. I'm going to tag that video that I'm going to create with about the dragon understanding is connected to the shadow and the super Scorpio full moon, and also the idea of the Beltane, the May Day. The last card that I'm going to bring to you is Sunflower and Assertiveness. Rise up stronger and true. And this is rising up to yourself. What can you do every day to show and prove to yourself that you are exactly already as you are? And I'm hearing you don't have to do anything. You just have to exist and be who you came here to be. Remember this: you are worthy exactly as you are. You're abundant exactly as you are. Your inner child loves you immensely. For some of you, you've done so much work, and your inner child sees you as this like happy-go-lucky, like, I'm hearing like Superwoman, Superman, clown, you know, Batman, but also you're just such a jester at the same time. For some of you, people don't see you because you're really funny, and they see you like goofing around and like being silly with your friends, or like they know this about you, or they've seen this side of you. So when they saw you try to tap into this real intuitive side, they're like, this has got to be a show, because how can that person be that? But the amount of silly that you are, you're also that in depth. So don't let the projection of others, I'm hearing, trick you out of your space. You are, for some of you, people want to have what you have, so they've been trying to trick you out of your spot the entirety of your life. And, you know, that feels a bit like catty as I'm describing it. And that's not your energy, and that's not how I'm trying to bring it forward. But that's the energy that is brought to you. Some people want what you have, so they've been so catty towards you. So it's okay. I want to say, rise up and stand strong to who you are, and be true to who you are. And I'm hearing some of you have had such beauty and grace in navigating some real treacherous spaces with people. So come back to nature, come back to the plants, come back to flowers, tap into the lotus, this jasmine energy. That is something that I started to do, I think maybe in 2022 of my journey. The flowers started calling me, and I started to sit and I started to speak with them. I started to pick more flowers. I started to just look at images of more flowers just on my phone. I started to create more content with flowers. So perhaps this is something that you want to incorporate in your work, in your personal practices. I started to drink more herbal expressions of flowers, specifically rose elixir, making rose water. I started to have blue lotus in forms of a tea, but also smoking it. I'm going to share that here. Guess I'm getting personal. To tap into my intuition as well. So if you would like some more tips and suggestions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. For me. Yeah, I am here for you as much as you are here for me, is what I want to say. This is an equal exchange, and I think that gets missed a lot when divinating in a space. You know, this is not work for me. This is a calling, but I also know that my soul is connected to so many, which is why we are drawn to one another, which is why I know this community is going to be so large when it needs to be, because we are all of a very similar vibration. And I'm very excited to be able to call in more soul team, soul tribe. So thank you for being here. I'm being drawn to this scribe here and this candle, but I'm seeing this as ink and a scribe. So for some of you, you need to start writing again. You need to start writing in. You need to start to put pen to paper. Yeah, I'm just hearing put pen to paper. For some of you, this is a daily gratitude practice, also a journal practice that needs to start happening. Just start writing about how you feel, and then, you know, check the last week and just see how your daily life can progress by just saying 3 positive affirmations to self every day and 3 gratitude practices to self every day. I'm grateful for, I'm so happy that I have, you know, and start working with those very basic things. There are so many things about affirmations out there, you know, find a video, sit with it. Perhaps I'll start creating content towards that. Let me know if that's what we would be liking over here. I'm still feeling this out. But this is in its infant stages, but I'm not in my infant stages in terms of my spiritual path. And I feel like this is exactly where some of you are too. You've gone through a long, hard journey and you're like, I can't do this again. But I'm promising you, things are going to work out for you and differently. But know you are abundant now. You are just, I'm hearing trying on new hats. This idea of funky hats keeps coming through. And I'm thinking I'm going to have to do a video in my flower hat because I feel like that's a calling right now. Speak to the fae too. Speak to the trees, spirit animals, the nature spirits. They're very much here for all of you. Speak to the water. Program your water every single day. Speak to your water. I'm drinking this for this. I'm drinking my tea for this. I'm having a shower to release this. I'm having a bath to release this. Baths have been the spiritual hijacking solution for a lot of my problems. Just getting a bath. I promise you, make it as luxurious as you want. Make it as basic as you want. But have that time to soak in water. If you can go into a body of water in nature, even better. But letting your body reach the elements is how you are going to heal deeper from the inside out. But I hope this has given you everything that you need today. I feel like I've just been waffling on actually, but I felt like this needed to be kind of like me sat with you, like we're having a conversation, you know. Imagine that I've just pulled up a chair, I've poured you some tea, we're just going to get into it. Yeah, I'm being drawn to mugwort, I'm being drawn to cloves, I'm being drawn to jasmine, I'm being drawn to blue pea, I'm being drawn to cinnamon, to nutmeg, to vanilla. I'm tasting vanilla ice cream, chocolate ice cream, peanut butter. I am tasting, oh, I don't eat eggs, but eggs on toast, like dippy eggs. Being drawn back to my childhood with that. Angel Delight, that was something that I literally smelled this morning. No, last night. I thought, oh my gosh, it smells like Angel Delight. I just walked into a room. Sprinkle cakes, cornflake tart cakes. I can't remember what they're called. Treacle tarts. Those things that you had at school. I'm in the UK. You used to put like chocolate sprinkles on. I used to love that. Marshmallows, candy floss. For some of you, your inner child is screaming to go play, eat some junk food, watch some cartoons. Do it. That is self-care too, you know. And listen to what your body needs right now. Intuitive eating would be a must for some too. Just open the cupboards, you know, just have a shopping list in front of you and write down everything that your body needs, even if it feels left field, even if, you know, this means like fasting for a few days. You know, please be careful if you have struggled with EDs in the past, and that's definitely something that I've had to work around and monitor as I work through fasting again. Perhaps you want to do a juice cleanse. You know, this can just be for 24 hours. But for some of you, getting back to your roots, offerings of tobacco, this type of thing, that's not going to be for everyone. But just herbs, you know, get the herbs that are just in the cupboard, sprinkle it on the ground as an offering to the land. You know, I think that I got into a space of deity worship I don't necessarily agree with. I think that it can be used in a negative spin, although I respect the dark arts just as much as I do the light. It's just not my space. But I think that some of you need to speak to the land again. Go out barefoot. You know, now's the time, especially as in the northern hemisphere. The weather is nicer. Go and walk barefoot in the grass. You know, put your feet on the soil, even if it's just tarmac. Careful, it's going to be hot for some of you. But just remember, you are part of everything that exists in this earth, which is why you are already inherently abundant. I'm going to end on that mic dropping moment because that is the premise. I could have just said that one line, if I'm being honest with you, but I felt like I had to break it down into this divine tapestry for you. But you are abundant because you are made of everything that already exists in this world. And this world, this earth, look how vast she is, look how amazing she is, look how self-healing she is, everything that we've been putting her through, not just us personally, but, you know, the grander scheme at large. She's been keeping all of us alive. How abundant is that? And that is entirely your energy. So know that when it comes to you creating this really beautiful and abundant family for those that it resonates with, you know, you're going to be able to do this. And it's going to be amazing. Truly amazing. But that's all that I've got for you today. Please go well. And if you would like to work with me, how to contact me is in the description below. Take care for now.